Oh boy, this doesn't look good. Doesn't look good on quite a few fronts, namely the debt and just having foreign military people in our borders.
It's a significant forward advancement of both America and, in my view, Australia's desire to deter China.
So they've wheeled out this warmongering professor from ANU. Remember when universities, they're always protesting against war? Yeah, not so much these days. So this privileged hack, whose relatives, himself and his relatives, would never ever be seen on a battlefield, likes to talk big about potential war and young people other than him dying.
Well, we now have Chinese fighters intercepting our P-8 reconnaissance aircraft and flying not only dangerously near, but scattering aluminium foil that, if it get into the engines, would mean they crashed.
Look at this sad old dinosaur living in the past, peddling out and out lies. People just don't fall for this stuff anymore. They might crash. Well, none have, because what I said was a load of fucking bullshit. I got no doubt the Chinese Air Force would probably watch some of these surveillance planes, and rightfully so. It's over their airspace. What he just said was a load of fucking bullshit.
And so if there are US bases closer to China that could easily be launching spots for B-52s, what's the point of doing this in Australia?
It's deterrence.
Well, that answer was nonsensical because, as the reporter said and picked up on, there's already places they can launch from in Guam and Japan that are right on China's doorstep. They don't need to be here as a deterrent.
There are two forms of deterrence in both nuclear and conventional theology. One is deterrence by punishment, meaning directly attack the territory of China.
Well, he's using the word deter, but he's kind of deviated from what it means. And he's saying, well, we're just going to attack them. Now, that actually might not deter them. That actually might inflame the situation and be the opposite. Oh, this sad old bastard.
The other one is deterrence by denial, which I believe we should be about in any case.
Denial? What's he mean? Tear up the China Free Trade Agreement, stop sending them iron ore and coal that makes their industry stronger and they can build weapons. Maybe bring back some of these companies that went over there. Start making nappies in Australia again. Well, judging by this, I don't think that's very likely because BMW just this month have announced they're moving production to China from the UK. Don't they know what a threat China is? They get their BMW technology, they'll steal all that, they'll ramp it up. Are they on our side? We, as in Australia and the West, well, we're getting bombers and threats of war, and the Chinese are getting jobs.
In the event of China trying to take Taiwan and the US getting involved, would US facilities here potentially be targets?
They might be, as by the way would be the joint facility you didn't mention in the Northern Territory, Pine Gap.
Well, they might be, but it's still okay because we're already a target because of Pine Gap, see, so it doesn't make any difference. Well, I think it does. I think there's a bit of a difference between a radar facility and nuclear-armed bombers.
US presence in the Northern Territory with troops rotating out of there each year. To what extent does this expand that?
So what he's talking about there is thousands of US Marines here permanently on rotation. And this has been going on for 10 years. I mean, when in the last 10 years has there ever been an urgent need that we need them here permanently? I mean, wouldn't they just come if we got attacked? Why do they need to be permanently? Thousands of US Marines, fighting men within our borders. I mean, those guys might be really handy in an emergency, especially if they've got immunity from prosecution, both civil and criminal. That's what you want. Armed forces from another country in your borders that can be deployed against you. Do I need to keep going? We tried to stop this. This is one of the projects, by the way, I'm going to start working at bringing attention to this. People are oblivious. You ask anyone if they know that this can happen and they stare at you. No, it doesn't sound right. Yeah, well, we'll make people aware, and next couple of election cycles, we'll try and get this thing repealed. I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes. People can sometimes be a bit fatigued. People are a lot more distrusting of government than they were before COVID. I just like getting into conversations with people sometimes. I'm always sort of respectful and don't push things too far, but I was talking to this guy and we're just talking about things in general, and I said, you ever wondered why in all of the cookbooks last 100 years, try and find one insect in any cookbook ever? And he goes, well, there won't be. There won't be. I said, yeah, they're trying to feed kids crickets. The reason they're not in cookbooks is because they're not food. And he went, that's a really good point. So these conversations are good to have. That's it for this one.